Welcome back to the Overcomfort Podcast. I'm your host, Jenicka Lopez. Thank you guys so much for choosing to listen and watch to today's episode. If you guys saw the title and the description, we are going to be talking about my views on Halloween, how do I feel about it, and grief during the holidays as they come up. And as you guys know, I have experienced grief. I know what grief is like and the shift and help manage through it. And also going to be talking about Dia de los Muertos. These are things that are celebrated in my culture, things that I necessarily don't celebrate myself. So I want to be able to talk about that with you guys. And today we're going to be making pumpkin chocolate chip cookies because it is the season, it is fall, and it's one of my favorite seasons of the year. And give my honest views as someone that follows God as a Christian, let's say. Let's get started. So, as I was preparing for today's episode, I was looking into the actual facts about Halloween. First of all, let me give a preface of just in general, I am not a person that likes horror, anything scary. I don't like scary movies. I don't like I like thrillers, but nothing like actual spiritual, like Paranormal Activity. What's that other one? Insidious. All those movies terrify me. Like just in general, as a person, aside from like the spiritual aspect of it, it's just something that I don't personally like. But I wanted to look into why people tie it with the devil and Christians and all that. So I looked it up. Historically, Halloween comes from the Celtic festival of Samhain, marking the end of a harvest and the start of winter. Okay. People believe that night blurred the line between the living and the dead, so they'd light bonfires and wear costumes to protect themselves from spirits. And when Christianity started going into the early church, the church made all day saints on November 1st, which I think is Dia de los Muertos, if I'm not mistaken, to honor saints. And October 31st became Hallows Eve, which is Halloween. So those are fun little facts that I didn't even realize that I didn't even know myself. So in case that you didn't know, there you go as well. But I read that a lot of Christians reject Halloween because of what it represents. It represents a lot of darkness, witchcraft, could be very demonic. And those are all the things that the Bible tells us not to engage with. And as I'm explaining this to you guys, I'm also learning as well because these are a lot of things that I didn't know. I obviously knew that it was between right and wrong. And obviously, again, the Bible also tells us to not mess with spiritual things, opening doors like that, fortune telling, false gods, calling on the dead. Even if we just see it as just for fun. And I know that for a lot of us, for me at least, I don't even want to come off as judgmental. Again, this is my perspective, and I'm not judging you for it or anything. Like I said before, we're all learning this together, and I just want to give you guys my idea and how I feel about it and what I plan to do. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, how would I raise my kids? How would I choose to do it? Because yeah, it's something fun. Kids don't know about it until you actually explain it to them. And also when they get older and they start realizing things for themselves. But for example, for me, like I don't want to have my kid be the only kid at school that doesn't get to dress up or miss out on trick-or-treating or experiences like that. I do think that it is an opportunity to redeem versus reject the entire holiday. So for me, for this year, for example, I'm a very homey person. I love being able to make people smile, and I don't go out on Halloween in general. I've only gone to one Halloween party that wasn't even on Halloween, and I dressed up. I was also in a very bad time at that time, and it was just, no excuses, but I just felt like I wasn't all in my right senses. But anyways, I generally don't go out on Halloween in general. But I am someone that likes to, if kids come to the house, I'm not going to completely have the lights off and not offer candy. I want to give it an opportunity to make kids smile and to be able to teach them, like, to be a light in the darkness. And I know how cliche that sounds, but it's true. And I know that Jesus didn't avoid dark spaces. He entered them to bring light. He met people where they were, not to conform, but to transform them. And I want to be able to do the same and have that opportunity. So I thought of a cute idea this year for Halloween. And I think I will be giving out candy. I don't have my house decorated. I mean, I have it like fall decorated. I have pumpkins and stuff, but nothing like spooky or like anything like that, ghosts or whatever. Like I said, I keep it like neutral, just also because of Thanksgiving. Like I don't want to have to switch it out. Anyways, but I think this year for Halloween, I want to be able to give out candy, but have the opportunity to give something with it. So my sister did a couple years ago, like little Bible verses, or simply just giving like a little small word, and I don't know if I'll dress up or if I want to be anything that is like, obviously I wouldn't be like the devil. I wouldn't be like an angel even, or a witch or anything like that. Something funny, something cute, appropriate. But I do want to seek it as an opportunity to glorify light, to show love, most importantly. Because I also don't want to be that neighbor on the street that they look at like, oh, they're boring. They don't celebrate Halloween because they're Christian or whatever. No, I want it for them to be as an opportunity like, oh, like she's cool. Like she's still Christian and gives out candy, but in a beautiful way, like an opportunity to be a light in the darkness. And when it comes to like the kids, when I want to raise my kids, and I think it'll be the same way. I want to have that experience for them and for them to be able to go to school and just like, but it not in just that area, but I think it's important about how we raise them in general. The importance of just being kind and loving and still being quote unquote cool or whatever. Again, it's about how you raise them and what they believe in and knowing the difference and why sometimes it's not okay and sometimes it is, like in certain ways, if I'm making sense. So then the next holiday after that is Dia de los Muertos. And you guys, I know it is very heavy in Hispanic, Latin culture. It is celebrating Day of the Dead. It can be sensitive to some, and I want to be very careful because I'll again, if you celebrate it, I totally respect you, but understand why I personally don't. First of all, in general, I never celebrated it growing up. It just wasn't something that was made accustomed to me or that was as important as some people feel it is for them. Again, all respect. It is a holiday that's tied to love, remembrance, and honoring the family members who have passed away. And obviously you guys know my mom and my dad have passed away. I think in that holiday, they also taken as an opportunity to invite them to communicate, which I don't necessarily believe in. And I do think that it's okay to honor and remember said past ones in our daily lives and what I do normally. I also looked it up. It's a tradition rooted in the belief that the spirits of the dead return to visit the living during that day. People build altars, food, and talk to them. Even if it's cultural, it does connect to spiritual practices, and that invites the communication with the dead. And also biblically, we're told not to do that. Once our soul passes, it's at rest. It doesn't come back. It is with God. It is in heaven. It is, a whole different scenario situation. And for me, remembering someone doesn't have to be on that specific day. It is also just, again, like I've said before, we can honor them and have the opportunity to yell out, I say, I guess, because I know that I can't communicate with my mom. I know that sounds crazy, and butterflies always remind me of her, but I know that that's not her in a butterfly form. I know that God has her next to her and she's resting. And sometimes it's hard for people to understand that I believe that, but that is something that I do. But I celebrate her legacy. I celebrate who she is all year long. The same thing with my dad in my own way. Things that I remember him by. And I know that I don't need an altar or ritual to keep their memory alive. And yeah, I think that to each their own. I deeply respect everybody that does. The beautiful culture of it. I think we have amazing celebrations, but I think, again, to each their own, and this is the way that I choose to live my life and how I view things. And I do think that it could just be celebrated all year long, not on a specific day. And if I do have kids one day, I want them to understand that, I want them to understand this, not that it's a rule or something that, you know, opposed to, but to know actually why. And we don't celebrate things just for fun or out of reverence, but that they could still have fun, be creative, and participate in community with their friends or whomever, but in ways that reflect light, love, and not darkness. And we can remember our loved ones, not just on certain holidays or the day of their passing or whatever, but in how we live, how we love, and continue their legacy alive. For sure. I'm very excited for these cookies, you guys. I know that these are going to be delicious. So moving on, obviously talking about remembering our loved ones and keeping their memory alive, the holidays are coming up. They are right around the corner. They're creeping up on me. And this year is going to be 13 years that my mom has passed away. And honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I think I'm getting a little bit tired of talking about it. Personally, I feel like in the way that my growth is right now, and the way that I have healed in my grief, I feel like maybe this year I'm gonna feel really, really good. And I'm not saying that the other years I haven't, but I do feel that I am more healed than ever when it comes to that. And because obviously now that it's October, November, December are coming, my brothers and sisters are going through like a little situation, rough patch, and it's becoming a little bit difficult to decide what we're gonna do for the holidays this year. It is, I don't know, and this is very vulnerable, and I wasn't really going to talk about it, but when you're in a situation with your families and your siblings and going through something, like, especially around this time, it's like, man, I kind of need you more than ever. But I also think that we're seeking this opportunity as growth separately because we're so dependent on each other and our lives are just different now, that it looks a little different. As far as me, I do feel like, okay, I know that we're going to be okay, and I know that things are going to get fixed, and that everyone has to have a mutual understanding of each other. I think that grief during the holidays just gets a little bit, it's different for me. This year I do feel a lot more healed, but I also know that it's harder for my siblings because of certain situations that we're going through. So for me, I could see it like, oh, I'm good. Like, you know, I'm not hurting, but I know that they could be. And that's also like, I have to have grace and understanding for them and see where they're coming from in their hearts and pray that God just like heals whatever situation needs to be healed So I'm learning to prepare my heart versus like suppressing it and, you know, being afraid of, you know, this is what I'd be feeling right now, actually. Later on, it could change. Today, I'm feeling great. Today, I'm feeling like, okay, maybe I will be hurting by the holidays. Maybe I won't. And that's what happens when you're grieving. It comes in waves and it sucks. It freaking sucks all the time. Right now, I'm feeling good. And I said before, like, I'm kind of tired of talking about it because I also don't feel like I need like a pity party or like, I don't want to say like, oh, get over it. It's been 13 years. But for me personally, it's just like, dude, like, how long am I going to hold on to this? How long is it going to be not over my head, but just like, yeah, like I'm always going to live with this and I'm always going to feel this way. But I know that this year, like, I told myself, I'm not going to suppress my emotions. I'm not going to make it seem like I'm okay, even maybe if I'm not. And if you're also going through grief or you're going through a similar situation, I recommend, you know, you to do the same. Like, make sure your routine's on lock, first of all. Second, as they come by, I think that you have the opportunity to switch the perspective. Like, okay, I'm fortunate enough to still be here to honor them, to honor myself, and to just point blank to be alive. Give yourself grace. Give yourself the opportunity to focus on gratitude. And ultimately, I would just pray for peace. I'd pray for peace as they come by before the holidays even start. Like, just think about it. Ask God, like, you know what, like, harder times are coming. I wish that they were here. I wish that I wasn't going through this by myself. Help me work through my emotions. Because you rather prepare for something than for it to just show up and mess you up. And I think that's the key. You don't really move on from grief. You move with it. The waves are going to come and you just got to ride with it. How am I going to, I don't want to drown in these emotions. I don't want to drown in suffering. I don't want to drown in depression or sadness. So how am I going to rise above it and be better? I'm going to do something that's going to make me happy. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to go sit at the cemetery for a little bit if I need to. I'm going to go paint, or I'm going to bake something. And for everybody, it's different. And I would recommend you just to have grace with yourself. Have grace with the people around you. If you know somebody that has been in a situation where they're grieving and it's really fresh and they're having a hard time, be there. I think more than anything, as I've learned and as I've seen what happens with people in grief, I learned to be there for somebody, even if I'm going through the same situation. And although it may sometimes be difficult, but I want to seek this as an opportunity to help and guide people that don't know. And if you're a friend that needs a friend, to be with them and just to hear them out, you don't have to say anything. You just be there and listen. And that's enough for some people. And it doesn't have to be in grief. It could be someone that's going through a hard time. It's also a season where the most people are depressed. The sun goes down sooner. People have a harder time coping. Be kind to all those around you, people that are grieving, people that are going through tough times. Because again, you don't know what somebody's going through. And you would want the same done for yourself. So that's my little spiel. I'm going to put these in the oven really quick, let them bake, and we're going to come right back. All right, you guys, the cookies are done. And we're basically wrapped up. I'm going to top them off with a little sea salt and finish off with the Bible verse of the day. It is Romans 12:21. Don't let evil conquer you, but conquer evil by doing good. So that means us as humans, as people, being kind to one another, loving each other, spreading light. And if there's anything that I want for you guys to take from this episode, is to be kind, to be loving, and to be a light. You can honor your loved ones. You can honor your loved ones without compromising your faith. You can participate in community without losing your convictions. And you can still grieve and be grateful. And if you're grieving and if you need anything, please know that you are in my prayers and in my heart and in my mind. And remember that, to always be loving, kind to yourself and to those around you. And with that, here is the delicious pumpkin cookie. I hope and pray you guys have a fabulous holiday season. I cannot wait for the holiday episodes. We have so many good guests lined up, great recipes. We have Thanksgiving, we have Christmas, we have all these good things coming up. So I can't wait to enjoy the holidays, most importantly with you guys. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next Tuesday.